Or will Syria continue in this reduced shape for time to come? I'm joined by Ataya Melchior, former Executive Israeli National Security Council, a West Asian expert, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Research Fellow, India Council for World Affairs, and West Asian expert. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me. Let me go to Itai. Israel has redefined its buffer zone in Golan Heights. Why has that happened, sir? Can you unmute yourself?
Sorry. Good afternoon. We can divide it into two different things. Remember that between Israel and Syria, there was an area which was a demilitarized zone, which was a buffer zone in itself, where only Syrian civilians were allowed, but no military capabilities. That is most of the strip of the Golan Heights. It's a very narrow strip of a few kilometers, which has meaningful control. And because of advance of different armed groups, and remember that when we speak about rebels, there's a multitude of groups. Your map doesn't have enough colors to portray the number of groups. Israel took over that area. Just north of the Hermon mountain, in the highest tip of the mountain, there was a Syrian base. The Syrian army left that base, and therefore Israel took it over. I'm not sure Israel is there to stay, but as now when things are unclear, I think Israel will maintain this post until things become clearer. In no way has Israel got territorial claims on these areas.
Have come out that Israel has pressed actually 12 kilometers inside Golan Heights.
In some areas, yes, it's the width of this buffer zone, which is the demilitarized zone according to agreements from 1974. The width of this varies from a few hundred meters to up to a dozen kilometers at the most wide point. There are a few civilian Syrian villages there. No one has been hurt. There has not been any fighting or shots fired during this advance of the military. Just assuming a position to fend off anybody that has an idea that this is their chance to attack Israel and keep them away from the border.
Okay. Dr. Hussain, do you think that Russia and Iran have lost their strategic depth for a long time in this part of the world?
To some extent, we can say that they have lost strategic depth. But with Russia, there is a transactional deal between Trump and Putin with regard to Ukraine. If we understand what happened in France during the inauguration of Notre Dame, Zelensky was also there, and the news flashed that Zelensky is ready to solve the problem. And this gives us some understanding that Russia has withdrew from here. It was a negotiated deal to leave Russia, to leave Bashar al-Assad, and Russia is not going to leave the warm port like Tartus and Latakia, where 10% of the Alawites are living there, and that is going to be seen that what happens there, because Russia will not like to lose the Eastern Mediterranean, which is very important, is foothold. Regarding Iran, of course, Iran has a setback because of whatever resistant forces built by Qasim Soleimani is now fallen like a card, and there is no hope that now onward Hezbollah is going to get supply from Syria. So Hezbollah is also alone. So it is time for Iran to roll back its resistant forces. Maybe after 10 years or 5 years, again it will try to develop some other strategic depth in other manner. So right now Iran is one of the most sufferer. But why Iran did not support? Iran tried to persuade Russia to support Assad, but Iran was also annoyed with Bashar al-Assad because he succeeded Iran and went to join the Arab camp. He was welcomed there, he was embraced there, but right now behind them he was not supported as he expected. So all these fall without a fire of bullet. This transfer of power is nothing but a negotiated transfer of power, which is very much visible from the communique issued in Doha forum of the Astana meeting, where all agreed that the UN resolution should be implemented where territorial integrity should be maintained, killing of innocents should be stopped, and foreign power should be negotiated to go out.
Territorial
Regarding,
integrity, you use the word
yeah,
territorial integrity.
yeah,
I mean to say, after 2011, there has been no territorial integrity. A part of it is with Turkey. The part of it has been with the Kurds. Idlib was with Taliban. I mean to say, I almost lost my way to Deir ez-Zor. I'm glad that, I could make my way to Palmyra and to Damascus. So, to see Syria as a one country, I think it was never a one country after 2011. Before we get any further into this discussion, let me play out the bite of the foreign minister of Israel, which has just recently been issued. Let me play that bite for you.
The one who leads and takes control in Damascus right now, Jolani and others, are people with an extreme ideology of radical Islam. That's why our expectations from the new entity are realistic, and we will follow their steps, and we will follow their deeds. The steps we took, the only interest we have is the security of Israel and its citizens. That's why we attacked strategic weapon systems, like, for example, remaining of chemical weapons or long-range missiles and rockets, in order that they will not fall in the hands of extremists.